All right, this is the Big Kids Show. I am Mark, and thanks for kicking it with us, even if it's just for a little bit. With me, I've got two of my favorites, Big Nick and Mr. B.
Heyo!
That's right. We welcome and appreciate your applause, big kids. If you haven't already, please like, subscribe, give us a rating, check us out on social media, Facebook, X, Twitter, as I still call it, unfortunately, Instagram. We always appreciate everybody's support. Love the comments. We've been getting a ton of feedback lately. Keep it up. We love hearing from you all. Anything and everything. Today, we're going to be playing a brand new format.
What?
That's right, big kids. Buckle up because Uncle Mark is taking us all on a joyride, and I have no idea if the wheels are attached or not. Now, part of the fun of this show is never knowing what to expect, and I don't think today's episode is going to be any different. I've got a couple young kids at home, and there's always a game that they want to go back to over and over again. It never gets old, and we're always coming up with these crazy new ideas for it. So who better to steal a big kid show idea from than actual little kids? So that's what we're doing today. Today, boys, we are going to be playing a big kid version of Would You Rather?
Oh, no.
Big Nick gets a pit in his stomach. Now, if you don't know what this game is, super simple. I'm simply going to pose a series of questions to Big Nick, Mr. B, and even myself. We're going to get two things to pick from. We choose one, and then once all of us is picked, we discuss the outsider, whoever that may be, and why they picked that ridiculous choice. Just kidding. It's all love here on the Big Kids Show. This is a way for you all to get to know your favorite big kids even better than you did before. So, gentlemen, we've got a theme for this episode. I like themes.
Mm-hmm.
So, the theme, boys, for tonight's Would You Rather is adrenaline. That's right.
All right.
We are going to test your limits when it comes to the most adrenaline pumping activities known to man. We'll get to learn what you like, what you don't like, and what makes you have to check your pants, maybe brown pants. I don't know. I hope you came prepared. So with that said, boys, let's dive right in. Because he doesn't want to go first, I'm going to make him go first.
Yes.
Big Nick, you are going to start us off on our adventures today.
In your face.
And let's dive right in, boys. We got a lot to get through. And we got a lot of questions, a lot to find out. So let's dive right in. All right, boys. First, would you rather question of big kid history. Here we go. Big Nick, would you rather skydive or bungee jump?
Oh, my God.
He's like, I choose take a nap.
I'll take a nap.
There's not a lot of things that Big Nick is like incredibly afraid of. Heights is
perfect.
The number one thing, like,
Yes.
that I would rather jog through a fire than to, and I was going to brag here for a moment there, Mark. I was going to say that, I checked my closet and I got a closet full of brown pants, so I'm ready to go. I
You're going to need all of them for this episode.
Here's the deal. Big Nick does not jump out of a plane unless that plane is on fire. Okay.
Well, that's how they trick you.
That's the only way. I am going to go with bungee jump, but here's the thing. Here's the problem. Big Nick is not surviving either situation. My chest is so tight right now just thinking of the two. Like, I'm about to have a heart attack here.
No. Hey, deep breathing. Breathe, buddy. Breathe. Breathe.
And I'm on the ground level of a building sitting in a chair with a beer in front of me, and my chest is so tight right now.
I love it.
That I'm going to have to call the physician in the morning. But no,
Pacemaker's firing.
I do not like either, but because I will at least be tethered to something. Well, wait. Follow-up question. Do I have a parachute? I'm assuming I have a parachute.
Well, if you
right?
skydive, then yeah.
Oh,
I'm not trying to
just,
kill you.
Not just jumping. Not just jumping.
Yeah, no. Would you like to dive to your death, or would you like a chance to?
Can I change my answer? So I'm going to change to skydive because from my understanding, the first time you go with somebody else, but a tandem jump, as they say. But look, I think I'm going to die either way. I'm giving you a 99% chance of total death for Big Nick on both scenarios. So it's much cooler to go out skydiving than it is bungee jump. So I'll go skydive. Very tough question. Let's move along quickly here because I'm having a hard time breathing.
Quickly, let's get him off the ledge and off the side of the airplane. All right. He can take a breath now. Mr. B, what do you got for us? You skydiving or you bungee jumping?
Quick answer, skydiving. Not a fan of the bungee jumping because I feel like that's if they didn't attach the thing, then you're instantly dead. Parachuting or skydiving, again, first time, you're probably strapped to a dude that knows what he's doing.
Closer than you ever want to be.
Yeah. And there's also usually a backup parachute. So I'm going to go with parachuting easily. Plus, if I'm doing that for the thrill, I feel like there's more of a adrenaline thrill of jumping out of a plane than just jumping off of a 100-foot bridge. Yeah. So,
I would agree. So
skydiving easily for mine.
Let's make it the trifecta here, boys, because I'm going to go skydive as well. I have actually been skydiving before, and I'm still going back to skydive for the exact same reasons that you said, Mr. B. I don't trust that cable.
No.
I don't know what that cable's been through in its life. How many people's lives has it saved already?
Yeah. It's some guy that makes $12 an hour. He's like, oh, shit, I forgot to connect it.
Oh, man, my bad. He jumped.
Hey, Big Nick, guess what, buddy? For our Christmas party, we're going skydiving. And you have to go because you're the CEO.
RSVP? No.
Luckily, Barry and the research team is an instructor, so he's going to strap himself to you, and you're just going to do it, man. It's going to be fine.
Barry's a very safe guy.
He is safe. He got his license taken away, so I don't know about his driving ability.
So what we do is we say like, hey, Big Nick, we're going to go watch a bunch of football at this bar. And he'd be like, sweet. And then we go to an airfield, stick him on a plane.
Well, here's how they trick you, Big Nick. They actually put you on an airplane you feel better jumping out of than you do landing in. Honestly, I swear to God, the place that I went to, it was like the ricketiest. As soon as we got like 200 feet off the ground, I was like, no matter what happens, I'm jumping. There's no way I'm landing in this thing. I don't think the pilot's going to make it back alive. Like I had to check when I got back. So, all right, boys. Very well done. Let's move on to our next one. Big Nick. Oh, man. We got the height ones right off the bat here. Take a deep breath. You ready?
Yeah.
He doesn't seem ready.
Are you going to go wingsuit base jumping? Or are you going to go cliff diving? What's happening, Big Nick? Which one are you doing? So anybody out there's not familiar, wingsuit base jumping, you basically look like a flying squirrel. You put your arms and your legs out. You got like a tent that you're wearing. And it's when you see the guys flying like a missile, and you basically are using your arms and legs to fly through the air like Superman. And then eventually you pull a parachute and you come down. Cliff diving, typically you're jumping into water.
Yep.
And you're hoping that somebody has tested that spot before you, and there are no rocks that are directly underneath you. So let's say in this case, Big Nick, we're safe. Just to alleviate your heart.
It's a safe cliff jump.
It's a safe space. Okay.
So how high is this cliff? Do we have
100-foot minimum?
Yes, minimum.
In the water, not on the gravel road.
I can guarantee you, there's no sharks in that water now.
So I've actually cliff dove a couple
off a creek
times.
bank.
Yeah, no, but it was a solid 12 feet,
maybe 7. I don't know.
Some pretty pretty high ones down in the Cumberland Gap. But so. Full disclosure here, Big Nick had zero fear of heights until I was 21. Like when I was young, when I was a boy, when I was a teenager, heights didn't bother me at all. Like, and I would do ropes courses and be fantastic at it. I would jump off of cliffs into water, no problem. I worked in a high-rise building for over 3.5 years and developed a weird I don't have time to go into it, but I know exactly why I'm afraid of heights. shoot. Some cuss words almost came out of my mouth there.
Way to hold it back. Yeah. Family show.
This is goddamn family friendly.
With
God damn it.
With it being, if you told me like the cliff was 30, 40 feet, I think I could do that. But because it's a 100-foot cliff into the water, minimum. Water feels safer here. I'm going to go with give me the flying squirrel suit. I'll pull a Super Mario, and attempt to pull it off with the, what does he wear? A raccoon suit when he's flying around? But I'll go the flying thing because I'm not going to lie to you. While I'm deathly afraid of heights, that looks very cool to me.
Doesn't it? It really does. All right, Mr. B, what do you got?
I'm straight in. I'm going squirrel flying suit because I think that looks badass. And I would want to do it, like, especially if I got into skydiving. Those guys, I mean, that's a whole special skill, like where you're jumping in, like these guys are zipping through, crevasses and stuff. But
crevasses. I think it's
plus the other bonus is I do have a parachute. So.
Well, there you go. Yeah. Exactly. You at least have some control at the end, assuming that it comes out and actually functions. Trifecta again, boys. I'm going wingsuit. We're all squirrel diving here.
Zip it up and zip it out.
Zip it out. I think the videos that I've seen, it's the closest to Superman you could possibly ever be. Yep. And the way that they jump, it looks like they're going straight down and with minimal movements just start flying right across. I saw one that really was going straight at a mountain, started to gain altitude, and then cleared the cliff of this mountain, and the whole thing opened up into almost like a Grand Canyon style. Oh, dude, it was so cool.
Now, not to burst Big Nick's bubble, but also there's a lot of deaths associated with that.
Yes, there is. It's probably way more dangerous than
because these guys that do it get really aggressive, and so they're hugging mountains and stuff, and so
because that's part of the appeal to them when they get good is
you're not just doing it in open air, you're doing it around stuff, and obviously you're traveling at hundreds of miles an hour, and then you make a bad turn and your head is smashed.
I'll throw this out again, being somebody that has skydived. I'll give a shout out, and anybody who has one of these around you, I would highly recommend checking it out, is iFly, which is the indoor skydiving place, is a very accurate representation of what it's like to skydive. And I have to imagine it's similar with the wingsuit as well, because the slightest movement with your hands shifts you completely in one direction or another. You would think you move your hand, I'm talking centimeters, and you're floating the other way. I mean, it's kind of crazy. So
it's a bird, it's a plane, it's Big Nick
in a squirrel suit, and he's got nuts in his mouth
and brown pants.
It's a brown squirrel suit. He came prepared. All right, boys, we're getting out of the sky. Big Nick, you can take your phobias away, I hope, and hopefully we're not going to channel in a few more here, boys. The next, would you rather, let's switch it up here, Mr. B. We're going to throw you first. Would you rather go shark diving or the cage of death? Let me explain the cage of death, because I hadn't even heard about this until Lenny on the research team told me about it. Had to include it in the episode. So the cage of death dive features a chance to spend 15 minutes in the water with a 5-meter saltwater crocodile. The cage is probably about 3 feet circular. So maybe even 2 feet. So think you don't have a whole lot of room to move.
Is it like the cage from Jaws?
Yeah, in that vein.
Okay.
Except you're in the middle of a swamp and it's crocodile season. G'day, mate. Hope you like crocodiles.
So my options are cage with crocodiles, and apparently those crocodiles are very aggressive, or am I openly swimming with sharks?
No, it's shark diving would be the official format, which is in a cage as well. So it's cage with sharks or a cage with alligators. Choose your poison. I'm
gonna go with sharks because I just think sharks are badass, and also I'm assuming being in the ocean, I might actually be able to see the sharks versus if I'm in some muddy bog, then it's just a bunch of crocodiles biting the bars. But
Absolutely.
I think sharks and crocodiles are awesome, but I'm going to go with sharks.
I like it. Big Nick, what do you fear most?
The aquatic stuff does not bother me in the least bit. I'm on board with B here. I'm going shark.
Yeah, buddy. Shark Week.
Tank, baby.
Shark Tank.
Shark Week.
Yeah.
Still waiting for Mark Cuban to make a bid on this show. All right, so I am going to go with sharks as well here, boys. Let's do another trifecta.
Ring it up.
And I am going to say that because, again, and I promise this is not going to be a theme for the whole show, but I have done shark diving off the coast of Hawaii, and it's freaking amazing. It's amazing. And it's funny because we went 5 miles off the coast of Maui, and the sharks, they're used to the chum being thrown in the water from the fishing boat. So when they hear the boat come, they come a-swimming. And I think when me and my wife did it, we did it for our honeymoon. When we did it, I think I counted 37 sharks.
Wow.
Probably the smallest one was 7 feet long.
Whoa.
So did you happen to see like any great whites?
No, they were all the same type. It was a Galapagos shark, I think, which so the thing about it is you get into the cage, the top half of the cage, it's all the steel bars. The top half of the cage on the outside of the steel bars has plexiglass.
Oh,
so you can't really, even if you try to stick your hand out, you can't even stick your hand out. But about waist high or so, there's a separator, and then underneath that, it's cage, no plexiglass. Well, the problem is you're swimming with your feet, and sometimes your feet tend to kind of stroll out towards the edge because you're holding on to the bars, so you're right up against the bars. So constantly you're trying to push off from the cage at the bottom, so your feet aren't going through the bottom of the cage. But it's crazy, man. I mean, they get close to you. It's scary, but it's also just like, this is going to sound so nerdy. It's neat. It's very neat.
No,
it's just a cool experience, you know what I mean?
That close to sharks, I mean, sharks are just badass by themselves.
So highly recommend it. That's why I would do it again. And plus, I don't trust no crocodiles. So
they're dinosaurs.
Dinosaurs. I'm not messing with no dinosaurs. Eat that cage with me in it. All right, boys, on to our fourth one. Would you rather, Mr. B, do a volcano walk around of a volcano that's predicted to erupt at any moment? So they've got these predictors with volcanoes of how often. Yep. So a volcano that at any moment, could be today, could be 2 years, nobody knows. Or would you climb Mount Everest?
Ooh, that's a good one. I think volcanoes are awesome. I'm intrigued by that. But I would love to say that I climbed Mount Everest, so I'm going to go Mount Everest on that one because I just think that's a cool thing. The problem is it's so I don't know, touristy. It's not, it's not touristy, but it's like to do that you have to spend so much money to do it. I mean, it's like only rich people can really climb Mount Everest. But if I had a choice, I'm going to go with climbing Mount Everest.
I like it. Big Nick, I got a feeling I know where you're going with this, but as the heights come back into play, but let me know what you think.
It's Big Nick versus the volcano. Big Nick's jumping in the volcano.
I love that movie, by the way, when Joe was versus the volcano. I love that movie. So yeah, I'm going to go volcano style here.
Ooh.
Easy pick for me. Both intrigued me quite a bit.
I like it. So I would rather do volcano as well here, boys. I think
idiots.
Something about Mount Everest. The chance of making it to the top seems slim. And I've always been intrigued with volcanoes. So I feel like if I'm going to die, at least I'll be like, oh, look at that. That's sweet. Ow, I'm dead.
Well, the problem is if you die climbing Mount Everest, they kind of just leave your body up there,
right? I mean, nobody's
coming
to retrieve
back.
it.
Yeah, it's very hard to, especially if you're really high up. They're like, "Where's Mr. B? He's somewhere up there."
At least in a volcano, they'll find your skeleton 1,000 years from now, and they'll be like, "Wonder what this man was thinking." And they'll be like, "He was out of his damn mind."
Yeah.
A stupid would you rather bet. That's what it was. on a podcast. You guys know what that was? A podcast 1,000 years ago. They had these things called podcasts. So, all right, boys. I like it. Let's keep it rolling. Big Nick, back to you.
Mm-hmm.
Are you going parasailing or are you using the flyboard? Now, if you don't know what the flyboard is,
Oh, the flyboard.
if you guys haven't seen this, a flyboard is basically a water-driven anti-gravity device.
Oh, like
So you
use
with
your
the
hand.
arms,
Yes.
and it blows the water down, but you fly through the air and you can do all kinds of crazy stuff, both of which are very big, like tourist things, whether you go to, somewhere tropical, Florida, California, whatever it might be. Both of them are very popular. So that's why I put them on here as two options. You've got a limited amount of money. You can only afford one, Big Nick. Would you rather go parasailing or are you flyboarding?
Hollywood Nick, money is no expense. He could do both if he wanted.
This is not a problem at all. This is easy answer. I should bite my tongue here, but
I'll say it didn't seem like an easy answer.
I was going to say, you guessed yourself.
I was trying to debate if I should to talk about this little detail here, but when I was in Venice Beach, Florida, the second day I was there on the news, this parasail thing went completely off the rails and the boat lost the people that were up in the air.
Oh, like the strap got
and
torn.
then it flew into town and they smacked into the side of it's not funny. They smacked into the side of the building and they died.
Oh my God.
Yeah. Okay.
So it did you would think that you lose the people, you lose the parasail, the boat loses the parasail. Gosh, I can't talk. That they would just fall into the ocean and then they swing around and pick them up.
No,
not this situation.
Yeah, you're on a parachute and you can't control
that's why I was laughing. I thought you were going to say you just got swept out to the ocean and then they picked them up.
They were way up there, got caught by some wind and flew into town and smacked into the side of the building. So the water thing, absolutely. What did you call it? The
flyboarding?
Flyboarding. Okay.
Flyboarding.
Yeah. That's the jetpack thing, right?
Exactly.
Okay.
Exactly.
Because I've seen this thing where you're on this little wakeboard and you're attached to this kite thing. I don't know what that's called, but that looks really cool too. But I'll do the
what? I think that's like windsurfing.
Windsurfing, yeah, that looks cool too. So I love the water stuff.
I misspoke a little bit. So the flyboard isn't the arm one; it's the one that's attached to your feet. Almost kind of looks like a skateboard, but it's the same principle, right? I mean, it's still the water pushes you, and you kind of you can
give me that
tricks.
10 times out of 10, baby. I'll do that.
I like it. Mr. B.
Same. I'm gonna go the waterboard because I feel like that's something I can control.
Mr. B went outside the box. He's like, I don't want the flyboard. I don't want
flyboard.
The waterboard me.
Yeah.
Waterboard me. Let's make this a vacation to remember.
Flyboard. I spoke incorrect. But no, I think anything that I could control, I feel like I would get better at, and then I would start doing some tricks and stuff. So
absolutely.
And parasailing to me just seems like kind of boring, especially already through this episode. We've already jumped out of a plane and climbed a mountain. Like I don't just want to be strapped to the back of a boat on with a parachute. So
hey neighbor, where's your boat?
Yeah. So I'm gonna go with what's it called again?
Flyboarding.
Don't waterboard me.
Yeah, don't. Well, I was gonna say if you weren't on a government list before, you might be now. So. Well, another trifecta here, boys. I didn't expect so much unanimity between us. Is that a word? Unanimity?
It is now.
It is.
It is now. It's a big kid word. Unanimity between the three of us, boys. We're all hanging out together. Look at this brotherly love. I like it. All right, on to the next one. Big Nick, let's go back to you. There's a little bit of heights here, buddy. Sorry to tell you. Are you going to do some rock climbing? And I'm not talking about at your local rock climbing facility. I'm talking about you're up on the cavern wall.
Cliffhanger style with Sylvester Stallone.
Sylvester Stallone is actually passing by you as you cliffhang, telling you suck.
Yo, Big Nick.
You ever done this before? Rock climbing or street luge riding? So if you've seen the street luge,
It's very
just
fast,
like the
very
ice
dangerous.
luge.
But on a road.
Very dangerous, but on a road.
100% put me on the road. And
Strap
keep
me
out
in.
of the
Send
sky.
me off is
Yes.
what Big Nick
Yes, 100%. 1,000 times I would pick Road.
All right.
So, question with the rock climbing, Mark.
Yes.
We're not like freestyling. Like we have like harnesses and stuff, right?
We can have some safety measures in place.
Well, then I'm going to go rock climbing because I always thought that was really cool. I'm always worried about doing that street luge that I'll be going around a corner and like, oh, a semi truck just ran me over.
It's like a bad video game.
Yeah.
Oh.
So I'm going to go rock climbing. I'm going to go a little opposite Big Nick.
Oh, Mr. B has some mountain time in his future here. I can see with Mount Everest and rock climbing. Well, I'm going to join you, buddy. I'm going to be on that rock right next to you. I'm going to do some rock climbing as well. I've got a niece that is huge into rock climbing, and she's awesome at it. She's way better than I'll probably ever be. But it's a real skill, and I think it's, and not to say street luge riding isn't. I mean, I guarantee there's a lot of skill with that as well. But it's cool to watch somebody who's really talented at rock climbing. It's a lot of like quick decisions, but not quick in the sense of you have to hurry up and decide. It's really up to your own stamina.
Yeah, like you can't hold the same posture for minutes. You're going to fatigue, so you got to move, grab, re-tie yourself off, and
exactly. So, all right.
We'll watch Big Nick get run over by a truck while we're up on that mountain.
We'll be yelling, "Hey, Big Nick, there's a truck coming!"
They souped that baby up and put the big tires on, and Big Nick just went right underneath and came out the backside.
Oh, man. All right. Well, me and Mr. B are going to get some safety harnesses strapped on, and Big Nick's going to get strapped in. So let's move on to the next one here, boys. Mr. B, let's kick it back to you. Would you rather do a running of the bulls or rodeo bull riding?
Ooh. So the running of the bulls, I feel like no matter what, you just get your ass gored by. I mean, now here's the plus for Mr. B is I feel like I would be faster than most of those people. So I would just run past everyone, like, especially if no offense to you fellas, if the three of us are doing it, I'm just going to smoke you guys.
I push the Nick to the ground.
Yeah, I'm just like, I'll be like, see you guys later. And,
I'll see you at the bar.
Yeah. But I think and bull riding, like, that's pretty dangerous, man. Those guys.
Neither of them are safe.
I think I would rather do bull riding.
Ooh.
Yeah.
Very nice.
I don't know why that is. I think I have respect for the Cowboys that did that in the past, but
yeah,
I don't know. That's a tricky one because I could go both ways. But I'm gonna go. I'll go bull riding. Let's go bull riding for Mr. B.
I'm glad it was tricky. Big Nick, what kind? How would you like to experience your?
Whoa! Hang on. Also, after I did it, can I get a huge belt buckle?
Absolutely. I think you probably should buy one ahead of time and wear it to whatever the event
Luckily,
is.
I've already got one ready to buy.
Courtesy of the Big Kids Show.
Kids Rodeo Champion.
That's right. All right. Now the stage is set. Big Nick walks onto the scene. We don't know which scene yet, but he's got his favorite brown pants on. And he has to decide which arena is he walking into. Is it the running of the bulls, or would you rather do the rodeo bull riding?
This is a very close one for me. Maybe the closest one yet. I'm going to go running of the bulls.
Okay.
Now, with a bit of a caveat, I know that I can't wish this into existence, but I would stand a much better chance of not getting gored. Is that what they call that?
Gored.
Impaled.
If I were in my 20s, I would be.
That's true.
I was much faster than.
So Big Nick wants to go 20 years before, and then he can start running.
Yeah, I probably would do. I would do both much better if I were in my 20s. But no, I when you got to pick and choose, I'm going to go running of the bulls.
Running of the bulls. Well, Big Nick, I will be the first one to push you in the way of the bull. I'm also
save yourself, you slime ball.
running of the bulls. I wore the wrong pants. I had white pants on. I wasn't expecting.
Actually, I think to do that, you're supposed to wear all white, aren't you? And then
Yeah.
So Big
The
Nick
little
would be like,
red handkerchief
Yeah.
around your neck. That's right. So Mr. Big Nick has a white shirt and brown pants just to be ready.
well, and now he's pissed because you just threw him in front of a bull.
For the record,
That wasn't nice. You didn't give me anybody to throw in front of the bull.
you got the little old lady that's sitting next to you.
You should have brought a slower friend.
Oh man! And for the record, Mr. B, I'm gonna spit my drink everywhere when your initial reaction to the choices. So beautiful. Well done. All right, boys, we are moving right along. Let's keep it rolling. Would you rather, Big Nick? Oh man, I didn't realize how much heights there was in this.
Hey, it's all about adrenaline. You got
It's
to be
all
up
about
high.
adrenaline, baby. Sometimes you gotta sacrifice. So, Big Nick, would you rather go slacklining? You don't know what that is? I'll explain. Or ice climbing.
So I need to have a definition of both. So is slacklining where you jump on that, like they pull it tight and you kind of just jump around and try to make
You don't jump on it, you cross it basically. So so think about it's not a rope,
It's not a tight,
but it's a flat almost like a ribbon. Think like a ribbon.
Yeah, like a flat toe strap kind of thing.
Yeah, and it's got a bunch of straps underneath it, probably for safety purposes in case it were to snap. The key is a lot of the slacklining uses I watched some videos of it, of guys doing, think the biggest canyon you've seen, not Grand Canyon, but huge canyons.
Crevasses.
With crevasses, with zero attachment to themselves to anything. Crazy.
So do I have
I'm
zero
not going to
attachments to
say
me?
that. I think I'm going to give you an attachment because I like you. And I'd like to keep you.
You
around,
like me?
so-
You threw my ass in front of a bull just like 3 minutes ago.
That was a fight or flight decision I had to
Yeah,
make.
that's a whole different scenario.
Okay,
Apples and oranges. What are we
fair
talking
enough,
about
I
here?
guess.
So I will give you a safety net. The ice climbing is what you think it is. It is literally, think a frozen waterfall. Think a frozen side of a glacier, and you are climbing up the side of a glacier with the ice picks.
The
You've
ice
got
picks.
the boots with the claws on them.
Yeah, okay.
You're sticking them in the ice, and you're climbing your way
Like
up the
Yukon
ice slowly but
Cornelius
surely.
from the Rudolph the Red-Nosed Reindeer.
Yeah.
Exactly. Exactly. What
Oh,
would Cornelius do? is the
Yukon
question.
Cornelius was my boyhood hero.
Indeed. He's been coming up a lot lately for some reason. I've seen a few other people talk about him. Anyway.
If I'm strapped in on neither of these terrify me if I'm strapped in on
So
the
there's some
slack line.
strapping and some safety with the ice climbing as well. I mean, again, you've got some safety precautions. I'm not trying to kill you guys with this episode.
Sounds like you are.
I mean, I want to tease you with it, but
Yeah. Would you rather ride a missile or eat a grenade?
Would you rather me shoot you in the face or in the balls? Like,
Right.
neither.
You know, I'm going to go with the ice thing here. Give me the ice
climbing.
wall.
Ice
That sounds
climbing.
cool. Yeah, I'm into that.
All right, ice climbing, Mr.
I'm not
B.
excited about it, but I'm into it.
I'll switch it up here, Mr. B. I'll actually go real quick.
Okay,
Just
go
so
ahead.
I'm not always going last, and you can bring up the rear here. I am going to go with ice climbing as well, Big Nick. I think the slacklining, literally the videos that I watched gave me anxiety, and I struggle to walk the curb of a parking lot without falling off of it, let alone making it across an entire canyon. So I feel like my chances might be a little stronger with the ice climbing. So that's the way I'm rolling.
So I'm also going to go ice climbing because from my earlier answer, I'm planning on climbing Mount Everest. So I figure
That's actually true.
I'd probably have to do that anyways.
Wow, I didn't think about that. Okay.
But also climbing Mount Everest, would you also have to do some of that slacklining? But I'm going to go ice climbing because I always thought that was cool with hammering in those axes and pulling yourself up. So you guys better start working on some pull-ups.
Better buckle in and buckle up.
Yeah.
All right, ice climbing trifecta, boys. We are
Nailed it.
So we've had 8 so far here, guys, and we've got 1, 2, 3. So we're skydiving together. We're doing wingsuit base jumping together. We're doing shark diving together. We're flyboarding together, and we're ice climbing together.
Yeah.
Pretty sweet vacation so far.
No, you know what that's called? It's called a team building exercise.
That's right. That's called the Big Kids Night Out.
Yep. That's a Tuesday.
That's Tuesday. Easy. Skip the appetizers. All right. Let's get into some stuff that's got some vehicles involved now. Let's bring in some vehicles. And maybe I shouldn't say vehicles for this first one. Maybe after this one, we start to get into a little more true vehicles. But for the first one here, Big Nick, would you rather go extreme kayaking or whitewater rafting? And extreme kayaking, essentially you're whitewater rafting, but
by
with
yourself.
a kayak.
You're by yourself, right?
Exactly.
Like one kayak versus whitewater rafting, you're in a crew with 8 dudes.
But you got 7 other drunk dudes that could push you off the raft.
So the whitewater rafting, is there a guide or are we all on our own?
Let's say you're on your own only because the kayaking is on your own, just to make it a little more juicy.
I like it. Let's
make it a little juicier. There is, you know what? Let's make it even better. You guys kicked off. You got into your raft. The guide fell out 5 minutes into the thing.
No, Steve.
You are on your own. Steve waved. He swam to the side, but you guys are on your own. Big Nick, are you still on that raft, or are you behind everybody on a kayak going, dumbasses?
What say you?
What say you?
This might be, I'm having a hard time thinking because we've gone through a lot of these now. Yeah. This might be the first one where I'm like, I would love to do both. Like
same.
Not like a so would you rather does still fall into place here because I only get to choose one. But this is something I desire. I've whitewater rafted in the past and thought I excelled at it. Did the New River over there in West Virginia. It was a lot of fun.
Place to go.
Very good. I didn't do the gorge or the gully or whatever they call that one that they open up only a short period of time, which is much more intense. But I loved whitewater rafting. Well, I don't know that I wouldn't recommend doing that other one, the gorge, your first time around, right? You don't just.
Yeah. My dad did it his first time around.
His first time around.
Yeah.
Well, I'll follow up on that because I've had many a discussion with your father and a couple that involved discussing whitewater rafting. So I'm not saying that that's not true. Further investigation is needed. I would love to do both. The whitewater rafting to me appears to be a little less extreme. And so I'll go that route.
Whitewater rafting. All right. Big Nick's calling a friend. And hopefully they know what they're doing because Steve is nowhere to be found. Mr. B.
I'm calling Mr. B's dad and we're going whitewater rafting together. Are you kidding me?
I'm gonna go extreme kayaking. I thought that was awesome, especially because now I have total control. I don't have to rely on 6 other dudes. I can, and have you seen those guys like where they barrel roll?
Yeah.
I just thought that was really cool. I'm not even saying cool. I know how to do it, but I would love to go down a bunch of rapids. Like, I mean, even when we go, like for Drew's birthday and we did kayaking, obviously it's not white waters, but you kind of hit some of those bumps and you're like, oh yeah, I'm going.
So one time, this was when I was at the New River. I saw some people doing that extreme kayaking, didn't even have the paddle. They had those glove things on.
They're doing it with their hands.
Yeah, the webbed gloves, and they were just, swimming motion outside of the kayak. I think it's probably easier.
It's probably easier. Yeah, because you would have more total control. Like you could literally slow yourself up, but
or if you had to push yourself up, if you flipped over and you had to push up.
Mr. B's going to do it with no paddle or gloves.
Ooh, extreme kayaking.
Can I get a helmet?
Extremely extreme kayaking for Mr. B.
I'll use my face to stop the kayak.
What was that giant bump? Oh, Steve! No, sorry, Steve. Oh, poor Steve. He's having a rough day.
Steve is having a rough day.
Man, well, I'm not going to do the extremely extreme kayaking. I'm going to do the regular extreme kayaking. I will have some equipment with me.
So you're in the boat with Big Nick, huh?
No. I'm doing kayaking. I'm just not doing your version of extremely extreme kayaking. I've never done either. I have done kayaking, obviously, not extreme kayaking. The whitewater rafting, I think what freaks me out about that is how big the raft is. And I always see like part of the raft looks safe and the other part of the raft, I'm like, I would never want to be sitting in that spot. And the problem is, I bet that changes throughout the whole thing. Big Nick, you could probably tell me. So like, what's safe in minute 7 is probably the last place you want to be in minute 12.
Well, and Big Nick, you probably remember when you did it, like sometimes you're grabbing somebody and pulling them so they don't fall out, right?
Well, I think for me, the scariest part, like avoiding the rocks, obviously is gets to be tricky. But for me, the most frightening part was going under and then the likelihood of temporarily being trapped under the giant raft is high probability. So
getting trapped up next to a rock and the things on top of you, that's where
because you get thrown from the raft so fast, especially when the whole thing flips and everybody goes out. It happens so fast you don't even really fully understand what happened, and so by the time you pull it together and you go to the top of the water. And now your head and hands are bumping into the bottom or the flipped over raft. That's a little terrifying. But you know, for the New River, my whitewater rafting experience, I'm certain that it's all the same everywhere. The main thing that they teach you safety wise is that when you are in the water, you don't just float, you don't just swim. What you want to do is get your feet up in front of you.
Feet first to protect yourself from hitting rocks.
The way that you drown is you get caught under a rock and you get trapped and stuck under there. So if your feet are up in front of you, you can use them to bounce off the rocks and maneuver yourself while you're in the water because you do have a life jacket on. Do not do whitewater rafting or extreme kayaking without a life jacket.
Oh yeah.
Yeah. That
even as dumb as the three we are, we would all have life jackets on.
Right. Because you have a high probability of smacking your head on something and not being able to fend for yourself.
Yeah, I remember hearing that you're supposed to have your feet almost like toes out of the water is the key.
Yeah.
So
yeah,
a little safety tip coming from Big Nick.
It's ironic because I think this is the only one where I don't want to do either, and Big Nick wants to do both. I'm like, yep, I'll jump right out of that plane.
I would go this weekend and do both.
I still think we need to do Big Kid Show. We'll bring all the interns and we head to the New River, rip it up.
There it is.
Little Saturday.
Just bring your earplugs. I'll be screaming like a little girl. So, all right, boys. I think we're gonna have some fun here on these next couple. Mr. B, let's kick it your way.
Do it.
Would you like to drive a NASCAR or Formula One?
Ooh, that's a good one. Oh, and we're talking about like doing it like in an official race or just...
Yeah, let's say it's a race. Let's say it's a real race. Other cars out there with you.
So as much as I like NASCAR, I think I would want to do the Formula One because those things handle like nobody's business. And there's something about the open wheel racing that is a little more extreme than just doing a keep turning left.
Yeah.
So I'm gonna go Formula One.
I like it. Formula One. Big Nick, are you taking all left-hand turns or are you doing a Formula One?
So I'm not like I respect and I am entertained by both. So I don't want to sound like I'm poo-pooing anything by saying that I don't really watch either sport. I do watch the Daytona 500 every year. I used to play the NASCAR video game and I loved it. I loved the NASCAR video game. So because I've had that experience, I'm going NASCAR style, baby. Richard Petty.
Yep.
I like it. Pass him on the outside, Cole.
Big Nick, can I be in your pit crew?
I would love it. I would be honored if you were the pit master. That's barbecuing, but we'll give you that.
We'll see Big Nick when you pull over. I'll be like, hey, Big Nick, I got some smoked brisket for you.
I mean, I think as soon as Big Nick pulls up, he throws a slab of ribs right on the hood and they cook while you're doing the pit stop.
They'll be like, Big Nick is in last place because he's eating ribs right now and he should be racing.
The pit master has a very important job. It's overseeing the pit crew while also preparing all of the fine meats for the win celebration afterwards.
And you know what? Big Nick, I can do that for you.
I believe that you can, and that's why you are my pit master.
I like it. If you're curious what the average pit time is and what Mr. B has to be ready for, go back and listen to our No Phones Need for Speed episode because we cover that in detail. I'm going Formula One as well. This is a really tough one for me. I'm not a huge NASCAR guy. I like racing. I'm not like obsessive with either. I've been on the Daytona 500 track, really cool. But I feel like Formula One with the speed and the turns and everything else you've got going on. And like Mr. B said, it hugging the road like nothing else.
To me, I feel like it's a more technical racing,
exactly.
not to diminish NASCAR racers, but
of course.
It's a more technical kind of course.
Exactly. So, all right, boys. Well, we got NASCAR for Big Nick, Formula One for Mr. B and myself. Boys, I want to take a quick break before we move on to our next one here.
Would you rather take a break or move on to the next one here?
I would rather take a break.
I choose break.
I'm going to go sit on the couch and have a sandwich. So I hope you guys enjoy the rest of the show. No, actually, I want to just take a quick second. I love all of our listeners out there. I love the support we give. And I want to give a shout out to a few of the folks who have been really good about giving us commentary, giving us feedback. We always appreciate that from everybody out there.
Love it.
So, huge shout out on Facebook, specifically Chris Romero Hamlin. She has been all over it, giving us good feedback on episodes. I know she commented recently on our Sue Me episode of No Phones. If you haven't listened to that, definitely go back and check that out. It surpassed our Need for Speed episode that I just mentioned.
What was
her favorite Big Kid episode ever?
What was her name again, Mark?
Chris Romero Hamlin.
I just checked it and confirmed it. Chris Romero Hamlin's got the Big Kid stank all over her.
And she's also a Facebook top fan. So shout out to you. We love giving shout outs to anybody. So keep hitting us up. Give us feedback. Give us show ideas, whatever you guys got.
That's right.
Keep it coming. You could be
come
our
and
next.
Get some of that Big Kid stank.
Come get some. You could be our next shout out. All right, boys, let's keep it going. Mr. B, let's keep it in your direction. Would you rather drive a rally car or a monster truck rally?
Easy decision.
Hold on. The way both of your faces lit up when I said those two options is magical. Anyway, go ahead.
I'm going straight on monster truck, bro. And also, do I get to crush other trucks and maybe,
of course you do,
possibly even do like a backflip?
Absolutely.
Monster truck it is. Cheers. And preferably I'd like it to be either Bigfoot or Gravedigger, but that's just my side piece. But monster truck.
Yes.
Wow. He identified his side piece on this show.
He did.
My wife's aware.
She is now. Big Nick, what do you got for us?
Okay, so B had some questions, some follow-up questions. So I have a follow-up question on the flip side of that coin.
Okay.
The rally car scenario, am I involved in an actual competition, in a race?
Absolutely.
Hell to the rally car me. I'll tell you what, this is a difficult one because much like the previous question, I would like to do both. I would love to do both. You know, I've always told my family, you go, these are dark conversations. You go, when I go, I hope that it's peaceful, that heart attack in my sleep style. But I've told my family, I've told my family, I'm like, top 3 ways to go. Well, you got to go. So if you could pick and choose, right?
I mean, why not wrap yourself around a tree?
Heart attack, die painlessly in my sleep. next two ways, best way to die: rally car race, and then followed by monster truck competition. So
There we go. There we go.
you know what? Just for fun, put the airbags in them bitches, right? I'll do rally car. Both sound like a blast. We should have started with this rather than all the heights nonsense.
I saved the best for last. I knew you would enjoy it. You're really going to love the next one. I am also going to join you in that rally car, Big Nick. So maybe one of us is the spotter for the other one, right? I can
the competition together, and I hope we finish 1 and 2 in any order.
I knew that you guys aren't truck guys. That's why you guys can't.
It's teamwork.
You guys can't handle big rigs.
This is a tough choice because I would love to do a monster truck, like absolutely love. But you guys know me. I do rally car racing on the highway whenever we take our road trips.
Oh,
so
I know. We were in the car, and
I know you were.
Nick had to put his
grabbing the shit handle the whole way.
Cincinnati PD is well aware.
Yeah. Well aware.
He's got a warrant.
Yeah,
so
his poster is up at the post office.
And I have to tell you, when it comes to rally car racing, there's somebody that's braver than the guy driving or the guy that's giving the instruction to the guy driving, because that takes some cojones to sit in the passenger seat as well. That's the photographers that are tagged along the route, and the spectators that are just standing, and
they almost get killed like every time,
sliding on the mud, fishtailing, and misses you by 10 feet, 5 feet, doing 70 miles an hour.
So, Mark.
Oh, thank you.
Just so you know, I respect your driving ability. I would be your passenger seat rider.
Thank you. Thank you.
Respect.
Man. Thank you. I like it.
Mark, real quick, can I give a shout out?
Please.
So, I used to go annually to the Tony Stewart dirt track here in Ohio, Aldora.
Nice.
Ooh.
They do the Prelude to the Dream is what the race is called. And it's an annual fundraiser for the Wounded Warriors.
Nice.
Love that. Good.
And
awesome.
you get a bunch of NASCAR drivers in these dirt cars going around this dirt track. It is
cool.
a fantastic time. It's very affordable to go to. It's all for charity. You can drink a lot of beer while you're there, and it's a wonderful time. I used to go every year. So shout out to Smoke, Tony Stewart.
Excellent plug.
Awesome. Beautiful, and love Wounded Warrior as well. So that's going to a good cause. Beautiful, boys. All right, we're wrapping up here with our last couple here, guys. Big Nick, this one's just for you, and I already know which way you're going. And all I'm going to say is you better have good balance no matter what you pick.
Would you rather have sex with a Muppet or be blasted into outer space?
I don't even know what Big Nick would pick there due to the height.
I'm not sure.
Describe the Muppet.
Very, very much.
Anyway, so here's your choices, Big Nick.
That poor Muppet.
Would you rather go big wave surfing, and I'm talking big wave kahuna style surfing?
Like 20, 30 foot waves, right?
Oh, I'm talking bigger than that. I'm
50 foot waves.
50 foot waves.
Okay.
You're up there. This isn't like the competition. This is like the ultra the ones you see on YouTube and you go, holy
like the pre or post hurricane waves.
Yes.
Okay.
Exactly. Think almost borderline tsunami type waves. Big wave surfing. Or are you going to go airplane wing walking? So you climb on top of the wing of the airplane and you walk on the wing. Some people are brave enough to actually walk from one airplane to another.
Oh,
now I'm not saying you have to do that. It's an option.
And I assume that all these airplanes are parked in the hangar.
Yes, of course. They're grounded. They never took off.
So, look, Mark, many people have tried to define Big Nick, have tried to use words to describe Big Nick. But I am nothing if not extreme. Okay. So this is a very easy choice for me because many who know me personally and have known me for a long time, they know that in my 20s, I was known as Bodhisattva. And I used to, I would spend
I never called you that.
Bodhisattva, most of the time I would spend my time out surfing or maybe a little beach football. sometimes I'd dress up like a president and rob a bank here and there. That's how
I do remember that.
I spent most of my 20s on the run from the FBI. So
booty.
It's only going to take me back to yesteryear and to some of my favorite years of my life. I'm going to Bodie it up and let me do the extreme. Give me the tallest wave you got, son.
Like it. I like it. All right. Mr. B, what are you doing?
Extreme wave surfing.
Yes, sir.
Ooh,
We'll be out there
there
together,
it
and then we'll
is.
rob a bank afterwards.
Yeah, I mean, if we have some time. But
You know what?
again,
Just real quick, boys.
hit me.
Make
He's
sure
robbing
we
the
got
bank with us.
3 president's masks because I'm coming with you. We're doing
Yeah.
it together.
I'm not a crook.
I am not a crook.
No, the extreme wave surfing to me is awesome. Like to me, even I loved the ocean as a kid, and like even I started with body like boogie boarding.
Mm-hmm.
And like you catch your first wave, you're like, oh my God, this is awesome. I can't imagine riding a 10, 20, 30, 40, 50-foot wave. I mean,
10, dude.
Absolutely.
yeah.
Hanging 10.
If I
hanging 10.
lived on a coast, I would be a surfer, no doubt.
Absolutely. I love it. All right. Add big wave surfing to the Big Kids Tuesday night out. We got 2 more, boys, and we're all wrapped up here. Let's get into it. So, for the second to last, Mr. B, would you like to go storm chasing or deep sea diving?
Ooh, that's also cool. I love the storm chasing, but I quickly would say deep sea diving would be up my alley.
Yeah,
Yeah,
I like it.
I want to get deep in that ocean,
Way deep.
way deep.
In the crevasse.
We won't even say how deep.
I want to check out some boat wrecks and all kinds of stuff. Hell, let's go Bermuda Triangle. Let's get hardcore.
I like it. Big Nick.
Well,
On storm chasing or deep sea diving? I don't know if you can go as deep as Mr. B's going. But
here's another one that
Durex can't go as deep as Mr. B's going.
I would welcome and look forward to doing both. But, and this is a true story, back when I had my paper route when I was a kid, I had some extreme weather stuff going on, and I went full on Lieutenant Dan style, right? Like I'm
Nice.
out there delivering the papers, and there is
Is that all you got?
Yeah, there's thunder, there's lightning crashing down all around me. We're talking buckets of rain coming down, heavy winds. I'm out there delivering the papers, and I start screaming up at the sky. Is that all you got? Is that all you can't stop me? I'm delivering the news to these people. and I was triumphant that day. It was a loss for God, big win for Big Nick and a big spot. But I killed the wind and I killed the storm that day, and I'll take it again. I want the challenge again. I will seek out that storm, and flying cows and all. Give me the storm
and
chasing.
cheers to Big Nick for bringing that news to people that need it pre-internet.
It was very
That's right.
important. It was a Tuesday. Nothing happened on the Monday. They didn't really need the newspaper. There wasn't even football that night.
The biggest news story is like a senator got
some senator farted, and that was it.
Yeah, exactly. That's all we got. Well, you might do such a good job of reporting the news on that storm. They might call that storm the Big Nick.
Mhm.
The Big Nick storm. Well, I'll just tell you this, Big Nick. And this is totally up to you, man. I'll leave this decision up to you. But if you want it, you got yourself a driver. Because I'm going storm chasing as well, sir.
And that's why I would like to look over at you at some point, Mark, and go, you know what, Sweetwater? We're not in Kansas anymore.
We're not in Kansas anymore. Hit it. Hit that gas pedal. We're gone. I can't think of anything more adrenaline pumping than trying to outrun a tornado.
No, and not outrun it. You're driving like towards it and with it. I mean,
Yeah,
like
exactly.
I mean,
Exactly.
like you have to picture you're like in Kansas somewhere, like trying to drive up. Like think of the movie Twister.
Yeah. But if you've ever been to Universal Studios, I don't even know if they still have this attraction there, but they had a Twister. It wasn't a ride because it was kind of a theater that you sat in.
Yeah,
But the theater looked like the set, and then the tornado came, and it was one of those 4D things where like water splashed on you. You felt the wind, and it was super cool though. It was really, really cool. So, storm chasing. Me and Big Nick.
Another story. Got to go back.
Please.
I can't stop myself. There are 4 children in my family growing up, and I quickly realized my place in the family setting. We had about 3 summers in a row where the tornado warning sirens would go off pretty frequently.
Mhm.
And my mother was very fond of her wicker furniture that she had outside of our home. And when the tornado sirens would go off, it was my mother screaming, "Everyone to the basement. Nick, go out to the patio and get the furniture." Everybody else is taking shelter in the basement. I'm out there grabbing cushions. Like,
Let's roll.
No, but you know what that means, Big Nick? It means you are a tough man and you are a survivor, and no tornado's taking Big Nick out.
And likely my mother thought that I was expendable. That
Throw him out there. He'll let us know if it's coming.
I disagree, Big Nick. It was because you were able to take care of that very expensive wicker furniture.
And you know what? We never lost a piece of furniture under
Exactly.
my watch. Under my watch.
Nope.
I've got the same obsession you do, Big Nick. So I used to stay at my grandparents' house for like weeks at a time, and they lived in a very small town, population 100. I know I've brought this up on a few previous episodes, but it was the middle of nowhere. And each house was a half a mile apart, right? I mean, it's the middle of nowhere. And they used to get tornado warnings all the time.
Tornado Alley.
Yep.
And all I wanted to do was go out and look at those tornadoes. It even happened, I think, like 8 years ago. I'm telling my wife, I'm like, get in the basement. I can see it. I'm going outside.
I'm grabbing a beer and going to the front porch.
Yeah, that's exactly what I did.
I'm going to stick my hand in it.
Oh, she was ready to kill me. I walked out the front door. She's like, what are you doing? I'm like, get in the basement. It's fine. I'll fly in if I need to. So storm chasing. I love it. All right, boys. I had to save the best for last. I've had a blast with you guys. Hopefully all you big kids out there have enjoyed this. I have truly enjoyed myself. I've learned something about Big Nick and Mr. B. Hopefully you've learned something about us as well. Grand finale here, boys. This is what it all comes down to. The grand would you rather. Big Nick, we'll start with you. Would you rather drive a tank or fly a fighter jet?
Oh, that's awesome. I like that one. That's good.
Oh, do I get to shoot anything? Please say I can shoot something.
Absolutely.
Yes.
Absolutely.
Yes.
Big Kid Tuesday just got real good.
We're shooting stuff. Oh, buddy.
Oh, boy.
Put my ASS in that TANK. I want to shoot something, baby. And you know what? I'm going to run something over too, just for fun, for good measure.
Absolutely. We'll put some cars out there you can run over.
I'll show you
Love
Twisted Metal.
I love it. I love it. Mr. B, are you flying high at Mach 7 or are you driving that tank and crushing? Maybe you're shooting at Big Nick's tank. Who knows?
Hey, you can call me Maverick because I'm flying that fighter jet, baby.
Oh, yeah.
Oh, hey, Need for Speed. Tanks are awesome. And yes, they're slow, huge cannon, but fighter jets, oh my God.
Yeah.
I'm fighter jets all in. That's going to be, yep. Do
I love it. I love
Fighter
it.
jets. Mr. B.
I don't think there's a wrong answer on this one specifically. I mean, there's no wrong answer on any of these guys, but this one specifically, I definitely don't think there's a wrong answer on. But Mr. B, call me Goose and strap me in the back because we're going on a flight, son. Neither of us know how to fly, so I don't know if we're making it back alive.
I
But if we made it 10 minutes and ejected, that would be worth it to me.
Well, the problem is if we inject, you're going to hit your head and die. So
Ah, crap. What was the guy in the second movie who lived?
that's who you are.
Yes, that's me, that guy. So, all right, boys. Well, like I said, hopefully everybody out there, you enjoyed it. It's a new format for us. If you made it all the way to the end, you win the prize. You win the tanker fighter jet of your choice. Just contact us. Mr. B will transfer you all the funds you need to make that purchase. But, act now before he does some of these activities. He's not around much longer. But if you enjoyed tonight's episode, definitely let us know. Give us some feedback. Either way, we love you all. Keep on listening, and we are the Big Kid Show.